Group. So we will call the St. Paul City Council to order. Roll call.
Tao,
Here.
Tolbert,
Here.
Yang,
Here.
Jalali,
Here.
Naker,
Here.
Prince,
Here.
Council President Brenmon.
Here.
7 present, no one absent.
Please stand and join Councilmember Naker as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Naker.
Consent agenda items 7 through 16 are before you for your consideration.
And my understanding is that we'll be removing items 14, 15, 16 for separate consideration. Is there anything else that should be taken separate today? All right, seeing none, Ms. Jalali moves the balance of the consent agenda. Any discussion on her motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The consent agenda is adopted as amended. Item 14, Resolution 21-1561, approving the mayor's appointments of Abbas Cabo and Abu Mohammed to the Human Rights and Equal Economic Opportunity Commission.
All right, and I will turn it over to Noel Nix.
Thanks, Council President. Really excited to be before you today with our Youth on Boards team. As you heard as part of a presentation earlier this year, we are kicking off our inaugural Youth on Boards program as a collaboration between our Right Track and Sprockets programs here at the City of St. Paul. So we're very excited to share some information about the young people who are coming before you as mayoral appointees for your approval. So I will turn it over to Aisha to kind of talk us through some background.
And just a quick question before Aisha gets started. Will you just be presenting all of the potential commissioners at one point, and then we'll go through the votes as individually, or are you going to present? Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome.
Perfect. Thank you, Council President, Council members, for this time. I will be showcasing our presentation for today.
There we go.
Perfect. Also, thank you again for your time. My name is Aisha Mohammed. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the Communication and Youth Engagement Coordinator for Sprockets, which entails me being one of the co-leads for the Youth on Boards Initiative alongside my colleague, Mula Zhang.
Good afternoon, Council President Bremo and Council members. As Aisha mentioned, my name is Mo Zhang. I use he, his, him pronouns. I am the program coordinator for the St. Paul Youth Commission. Before we introduce the first Youth on Board cohort, we would like to take just a few minutes to say thank you to the Mayor's Office, Parks and Recreation, Right Track, the St. Paul Public Library, and Sprockets for partnering and helping us make this Youth on Board initiative happen. The Youth on Board is a twofold initiative. This initiative introduces young people to different career pathways within the city of St. Paul, as well as actively engaging and preparing young people to be placed on St. Paul's boards and commission.
The Summer Academy provides a baseline foundation for how the city works, what boards and commissions are, and how to serve on one, navigating local government and politics, engaging with community as a representative, and much more. During their time as youth representatives, each cohort member will be utilizing the knowledge they've acquired from the summer, along with their personal and professional experiences, to best represent themselves as well as the youth constituency in the city of St. Paul. The first Youth on Boards cohort consists of young people 15 to 22 years old who represent the various communities and neighborhoods of St. Paul. There are 10 youth representatives that will be placed onto 5 boards and commissions, which are as follow: the Business Review Council, the Capital Improvement Budget Committee, the Financial Empowerment Community Council, the Hero Commission, and the Transportation Committee. Though only 6 youth representatives will be appointed today, I wanted to take time to introduce the 2021 Youth on Boards cohort. They'll be introducing themselves and sharing why they're excited to be appointed to their respective boards and commissions. And we'll start off with Boss.
Hi, my name is Abbas Kawo. I'm 15 years old, pronouns he, him. I go to Central High School, and I'm very excited in joining the Hero Board and Commission because it's a very good opportunity, and it's my first time being in a board.
Hello, my name is Abdulrahman Mohammed. I'm a senior at Metro School College Prep. I use he, him pronouns. I live in Ward 1 of the Summit University neighborhood, and I'm very excited to join the Human Rights Equal Economic Opportunity Commission. Hopefully, I gain more knowledge and experience in my time serving this school year, and I'm very excited.
Hi, my name is Giselle. I'm 16 years old. I go to Mount View High School and I live in Ward 2. I'm really excited to join the Business Review Council because I'm excited to get to have a real role in like my community and play a bigger part of my community and get to meet people that also interact with the functions of the city.
Hello, my name is Everlyn Balboa Granda, and I'm 16 years old and junior, currently attending to Highland Park Senior High School. And I'm very excited to be part of the Business Review Council since it's an opportunity to help to the city of St. Paul. Thank you so much.
I'm not certain if Ryan is on the call, but we can move forward and introduce him at a later time.
Hello, my name is Abshir Ali. My pronouns are he, him. I go to Higher Ground Secondary Academy. I live in Ward 2, and I'm excited to join the Capital Improvement Budget Committee because I want to voice my community's concern and hopefully develop as a person in my professional and personal life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shauna. I go by she, her pronouns. I go to Augsburg University and I live in Ward 6. And I'm excited to be a part of the Financial Empowerment Council because I'm excited to make a change within my community.
Hi, my name is Heaven Webb. I go by she, her, hers. I go to St. Paul Online Public Schools. I'm in Ward 3. And I'm just excited to be on my board because I finally get to work in the communities I live and make a difference as well.
Hi, I'm Zoe Gale. I use she, her pronouns, and I just graduated from Brandeis University, but before that I graduated from Open World Learning Community. And prior to this summer, I lived on the west side in Ward 1, but now I live a mile away in Mendota Heights. And I'm excited to actually experience being on a committee after spending the entire summer learning about how they work. I'm grateful for the opportunity and I'm looking forward to networking and meeting new people.
Hello, my name is Dewan Hall. I go by he, him, his pronouns, and I live in Ward 6 in the Payne and Phelan area. I go to Johnson High School, and I'm just really looking forward to making changes in my community and really getting to see the behind the scenes of what transportation really does. And I'll be moving on to a little bit of my experience on the youth board. So this summer I've made connections and I've been doing a lot of networking, and it was very, very helpful because it was going to help me on whether I would move forward or not. And I gained the experience of getting to look at Parks and Rec, looking at a whole community being built, and really getting to see changes being made and how it would impact us in the long run. And the most thing I would take with me through this experience is my colleagues and everyone that's on this board, because everyone is here for a reason and everyone knows that they can make change and they can really impact their communities and what they're doing. Youth voice is a thing that's really underrated and we don't see nowadays. And for us to be here, it really just shows that youth will have an impact in the future and we deserve to be in these boards and commissions because it's going to impact us in the long run when we get older. And yeah, that's all I really have to say on the topic. I'll pass it back to Aisha.
Perfect. Thank you, Dewan, and thank you to everyone else part of the cohort. I want to introduce Brian because he was not able to attend at this time. Ryan Vu is 15 years old, lives in Ward 5 and goes to Johnson Senior High School, and he's really excited to be a part of the Capital Improvement Budget Committee, and is really interested in being able to utilize the skills from the summer into the work that he will be doing. So again, only 6 of the youth representatives will be appointed today, but we wanted to take time to really introduce everyone. We want to thank you again for your time, and we're excited to have youth representation and youth voice in St. Paul's boards and commissions.
And then just a couple procedural points that I'll make. One, with the Transportation Committee, we wanted to introduce those folks today. The Transportation Committee members are actually appointed by the Planning Commission chair, but we are looking at bringing some legislation that would actually help to start to establish youth seats on the Transportation Committee as part of the ongoing work to really sort of institutionalize youth voice as a part of our boards and commissions. And then I'll be coming back with appointees to the full slate of appointees for the community advisory for the Office of Financial Empowerment. But again, we wanted to introduce those youth to you today.
Fantastic. Mr. Tao.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Noel. And thank you to all the young leaders. It's really exciting to hear you speak with your passion and your dedication to the city. And I'm just looking forward to all of you to your leaders now, and you'll continue to lead us. And pretty soon here in a couple of years, y'all be running for office and guiding the city to a better place. And I really like the diversity. You're taking this lifetime, this opportunity of a lifetime to lead other kids in our community. There are over 300,000 people in St. Paul, but you are just a handful of folks that step up to take the responsibility of all the young people and everybody in the city of St. Paul to do your work. So I know you'll take your work seriously, not just in this committee, but every day that you're out in the community and your school, you're going to be leading those folks. And so I'm super grateful for you all. And I know your parents and your friends are super proud of you, and I'm proud of you all. And we're here as a council. If you ever need anything, let us know. We'll help you out. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tao. Ms. Naker.
Thanks, Council President. I also just wanted to really applaud staff, first of all, for making this program happen. I think Eric mentioned this maybe almost a year ago now, that when this was just a germ in the minds of staff, and that they were thinking of this program to get youth on boards and commissions, and here it is. It's happening, and I know it's been a ton of work. So wonderful job. And I just, to all of you who've stepped up to serve, thank you so much for doing it. It's not always glorious work. It's not always easy work. Sometimes it's boring, but we need young people like you to do it, talented people like you to do it, people with a different vision, as Councilmember Tao said. And I would just, if I can give you 2 pieces of advice. One is ask the questions that you think are the dumb questions, because I guarantee you everyone else is wondering the same thing, but they think they're too old to ask. And number two, just get ready because you're going to start seeing the city in a totally different way, not just this city, but other cities too. Council President Brenmoen and I always talk about how whenever we travel now, you're paying attention to like where the public toilets are as opposed to, enjoying your walking tour. So you're going to start seeing things differently. And when you do, own that and dig into it and try to figure out how things can be different and let us know your thoughts and let your boards and committees know your thoughts, because the point is not just to be one more person filling a seat. It's really to bring the new way of seeing things that you're going to have to making change. So I'm so excited to hear all about it. Thanks again.
Let's see, we have Ms. Prince and then Ms. Yang.
And I don't know how I can top what my colleagues have said, but I do want to say, I think it was Ms. Mohammed who said first that that she's discovered that one person can really make a difference. And I believe at the local level, you have so much ability to create real change. You can try anything at the local level. You can have a germ of an idea and turn it into something that we can pilot on a very small basis and create change that is replicable in other cities and other places and other neighborhoods. So you are really going to be bringing great perspective to the table. I think that one of the things that probably one of the favorite parts of this job is that when I'm really kind of getting in the weeds with issues and difficult work, it's so refreshing to meet with students and young people and to realize that we have this really bright group of young people who are going to lead us into the future. And just know that you all look like the future and you are going to make such a difference in the work that you are doing. And again, to Miss Naker's point about don't be afraid to ask a question, also don't be afraid to share your ideas, because all of us need to have our ideas refreshed and have people bring completely new perspectives to the table. And that's what you have an opportunity to do here. So you will be valued on your boards every bit as much as any other adult, because you have such fresh perspective and you're part of a generation that is going to make a huge difference in our country, in our city, in our state, in our country. So thank you. And we're always here for you.
Thank you, Ms. Prince. I'm going to go to Ms. Yang.
Thanks, Council President. Aisha and Noel, I want to say thank you to you and the rest of the staff who are leading St. Paul Youth on boards. You are doing really, really important work to make sure that folks who are left out at the decision-making table do have a voice there and that they are leading it. And so it's really critical work. And I just can't express like how happy I am to be able to see the our future committee members here in front of us and sharing about their hopes and dreams and why this is really important to me. I recognize a handful of you because I got a chance to come and share about my story and like running for office and being the youngest council member on the St. Paul City Council. And it was truly an honor, and it's so great to be able to see you again now taking on this next step of being on an official committee. And so I'm so proud and just so grateful for all of you, because you are bringing in perspectives and lived experiences that really need to be at the center of our system so that our future can work for folks across age and race and class and gender. And so I want to say thank you for your work, and I cannot wait to get to know you all even more as you continue to serve on these committees.
Thank you, Ms. Yang. Ms. Jalali.
Thanks. I know everyone has spoken at length, so I would just echo what they said and say congratulations, a sincere thank you, and to reiterate what many of my colleagues have said, which is just reach out to us if we can help. We would love to help you just navigate the city, find your way, support you in your leadership, and to do that through and beyond this process. So really excited to work more with you and appreciate you all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jalali. Mr. Tolbert.
Just want to say congratulations as we approve this. I always love hearing from young people, and I think these groups are going to benefit greatly from the perspective of young people on these. And it also makes me just so excited about the future because you guys just show that the future is very bright. And when we all move on into something else and you take our positions on the council, it will be in good hands. My only unsolicited advice to this group, and I think I gave this advice to Councilmember Yang when we first met, sat down to talk about her running for office, because at one point a long time ago, before I was an older guy on the council, I was the youngest person on the council, but it took me a while to appreciate this. But I was very defensive about my age, and I thought it was a detriment to my ability to lead. And it actually, you find out later and appreciate it as you get older that it's actually one of the benefits. And a lot of older people actually look to young people and give you consider that a benefit to your leadership. So you don't need to be defensive about your age. That's my only unsolicited advice: is embrace it and come prepared and lead with your heart and your mind and embrace new things and lead us into the future. So thank you for your willingness to serve. I hope it gives you a lot of experience, but also thank you for your citizen commitment to St. Paul.
Thanks, Mr. Tolbert. Mr. Nix.
Thank you, Council President and Council members. Just as a last word, I'd be remiss if I didn't make a plug that Aisha is our point of contact. So as all of you and those who are watching encounter young people who you think would benefit from being a part of Youth on Boards, please get in touch with Aisha and she can share details. It's a part of our Right Track program, so the applications will open up again here in 2022, but it's never too early to step forward and begin the conversation about what it looks like to participate in this program.
Great. Thank you, Noel. Thank you very much for that. And as a parent of 3 teenagers, I will resist the urge to give advice and a lecture, and instead to say, I am going to be supporting these appointments. I'm very pleased and delighted to see these fresh young faces in these positions, and I would like to congratulate them all on being pioneers. You are the first, and no one can ever take that away from you. You're the ones that did this first, and I'm just really proud. So I plan to support each and every one of these appointments and also promote for the future opportunities. So with that, we're going to take these items individually. I know that Ms. Moore may have read the first item, but if you could read it again, we will make it official here.
Item 14, Resolution Public Hearing 21-1561, approving the mayor's appointments of Abbas Cabo and Abdul Mohammed to the Human Rights and Equal Economic Opportunity Commission.
I should have written down the wards that people are in, but I didn't. So this item, Ms. Yang moves approval. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted. Item 15 is Resolution 21-1562, approving the mayor's appointments of Giselle Loby and Everlyn Granda to the Business Review Council for 3-year terms ending on October 31st, 2024.
So moved by Mr. Tao. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted. And item 16 is Resolution 21-1563, approving the mayor's appointment of Ryan Vu and Abshir Ali to 3-year terms on Capital Improvement Budget Committee.
And Ms. Jalali moves approval on this item. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao.
Aye.
Tolbert.
Yes.
Yang.
Aye.
Jalali.
Aye.
Naker.
Aye.
Prince.
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted.
And thank you for bringing forward the attendees or the folks who will be appointed to boards that are not the city council's nominees. It was wonderful to see them as well. And, you know, we wish them the best of luck from the Planning Commission appointment procedure. So, all right, thank you. Thank you all for being here today. You've definitely, look at all the smiles. You've really brightened our days. Thank you so much.
We have a suspension of the rules.
Yep, just getting readjusted here. All right, Ms. Prince moves suspension of the rules. Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenman.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. Rules are suspended. Resolution 21-1576, declaring October Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Ms. Prince.
Thank you. I am, as we ever are, I am so grateful to Shelley Klein for being with us today, who leads our St. Paul Domestic Abuse Intervention Program. And I am going to read the resolution that we have for today, and then I would like Shelley, if she is willing, to say a few words. So I will read the resolution. Whereas the City Council of St. Paul, Minnesota recognizes that living free from domestic violence is a fundamental human right, and whereas domestic violence affects people of all races, sexual orientations and identities, spiritual beliefs, ages, educational backgrounds, and economic conditions, and 1 out of every 3 women in Minnesota will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. And whereas in 2020, at least 20 women and 1 man in Minnesota were killed by a current or former intimate partner, and almost half were killed with firearms. And whereas at least 9 more Minnesotans who were friends, family, or bystanders lost their lives during a domestic violence incident. And whereas of the 9, 3 of those who lost their lives were children. And whereas 16 minor children lost their mothers due to domestic violence. And whereas the City of St. Paul's recognition as a national leader in ensuring all victims and their children are safe and dangerous perpetrators are held accountable for their violence is demonstrated by our history as being home of the very first domestic violence shelter in the nation, birthplace of the St. Paul Blueprint for Safety, which focuses on victim safety and accountability for people's violent behaviors while providing opportunities for change, the creation of Bridges to Safety, which is a collaborative government and community governed victim service center, and a multidisciplinary justice system model to prevent the use of firearms to harm victims and curtail the dangerous use of guns in our community. And whereas we as a community, from our first responders, community-based domestic violence programs, justice system workers, medical providers, educators, government systems, faith communities, businesses, and community leaders and members pay tribute to the lives and the courage of the victims we serve and the impact and support we have found in our continued work together. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the St. Paul City Council declares October 2021 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The other evening, SPIP, as we refer to it informally, held a vigil at their offices. It was extremely meaningful and moving. And it dawns on me, and Shelley will talk more about this, but this is such a wonderful example of what happens in St. Paul when all of us come together to take on and solve a very serious problem. It's it's an international example of what's possible to really stem this tide of domestic violence. So Shelley, with that, thank you. And please take it away.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, City Council Member Prince, and all the members of the City Council. In this past year, SPIP has provided 24-hour direct services to over 6,400 victims and their children. During these last 18 months, more and more victims are reaching out to receive the help and support they deserve. And with a significant increase in the severity of violence and the use of firearms, bringing our support and services directly to victim survivors has been imperative. With our partners from Esperanza United, Women's Advocates, Tubman, and Asian Women United to Legal Aid and city and county workers, we have reopened Bridges to Safety Victim Service Center, and we have created a collaborative model to better serve victims with mental health issues. Our collective work with the Blueprint for Safety, with the City Attorney's Office, the St. Paul Police, and many other partners has kept victims and their families safer while offering real opportunities for change to offenders. I mean this from my heart, that it is all of us, who have created this strong conduit for victims and their children to be heard, protected, and valued throughout our community, all victims. And to you, our city leaders, we are truly grateful for your continued and unwavering support to end domestic violence, because it would not be possible without all of us. And even though we're facing greater challenges and more victims are reaching out for help, which is a good thing, we're going to be there, all of us, for them, and we're going to move forward together. So I feel very hopeful for the future.
Thank you, Shelley. And Council President Brenmoen, thank you as well for bringing this forward with me, and to all of my colleagues for signing on as sponsors.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Prince. Mr. Tao.
Thank you, Council President. And Shelley, thank you for all your hard work, your dedication to this cause. You know, the statistic is staggering, and these are a number of folks that identify themselves or they have reported the incidents of domestic violence. But I'm sure there's a lot more, and that's that's being read to us. And I think another component that we may not talk about, but there's the kids, right? The children who witness domestic violence that cause lifelong trauma, that don't surface until they're adults, and that's really painful and hurtful. And so, really appreciate the work that you're doing to help those families, so that we don't continue the cycle of domestic violence and trauma. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tao. And just, I really appreciate this resolution's call out to gun violence and the impact of gun violence. And at the beginning of this year, the very, very beginning of this year, we were rocked by gun violence and domestic violence in my ward, when a man shot his wife or his girlfriend and 2 children, and just kind of started out our year just in horror, thinking of gun violence and the horrors of domestic violence. And recently, similarly, the incident on 7th Street allegedly has ties to domestic violence. So it's real, it's here. The gun piece of it is all too poignant to this community, and I know that we are pulling together to reduce access to guns, to give people the tools they need to deal with their emotions and able to make better decisions and make better life choices, and starting upstream as far as we possibly can to help prevent these tragedies further downstream. And I just feel like we cannot estimate the impact that guns have in domestic violence and how important it is that we stem the tide of the influx of guns in our city. So I appreciate the extra call out for that. And of course, your work, your organization's work. I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to attend the event at the office the other evening, but I know was looking at faces. I know it's a wonderful event and celebrated the work, the work that has been done and recognizes the work that's still in front of us. So thank you so much. And thanks, Ms. Prince, for getting the resolution together and in our system. I'm sorry that we didn't get it. We had to do the suspension thing because it's October. It's this month that we need to raise awareness, and then it'll remind us that we need to bring that awareness into the months ahead of us. So thank you so much. Anything else before we vote on this resolution? Ms. Prince, just ready to vote?
I am ready to move version 2.
All right, so Ms. Prince moves version 2. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brennan.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted.
Thank you, Ms. Klein.
Thank you.
Shelley.
Item 17 is final adoption of ordinance 21-29, amending chapter 324 of the legislative code in order to create separate licenses for tobacco product shops and tobacco shops to restrict pricing discounts or coupons and to create a distance requirement between establishments licensed to sell tobacco.
Okay, on this item, the intention was to vote today, and it's been brought to our attention that the item entered in Legistar isn't quite a match with the what we had circulated to council members that they signed on to authorship. There's some minor changes that need to be made, so I'm going to move version 2, which because it's amended will need to be laid over for 1 week for a final vote. In section 324.08, there was a word omitted that was, again, the version that the version 2 is actually what I think everybody had seen and was signed off on. The wrong version was inputted into Legistar. So this is minor, but there was a word, it said free products and it should have said free tobacco products. So we're changing that. And then in item 324.07I, had been unintentionally deleted sales to persons under the age of 21 years prohibited. So that is back in. So that was unintentional. And again, this is not, this was just an older version that got inputted into Legistar. I'm sorry for the confusion. So I would like to move version 2. I'd like to move version 2. Any discussion on that motion? Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brennan.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The amendment is approved and the ordinance is laid over to November 3rd for final adoption. Item 18 is final adoption of ordinance 21-37, granting the application of the Housing and Redevelopment Authority to rezone 231 Front Avenue from B2 to T2 and amending legislative code section 60.03 to reflect the change.
All right, I move approval on this item. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brennan.
Aye.
7 in favor, none opposed. The ordinance is adopted. Item 19 is final adoption of ordinance 21-40, granting the application of Abba Mohammed to rezone the property at 576 Lexington Parkway North from RT1 two-family residential to RM2 multifamily residential and amending Chapter 60 of the Legislative Code pertaining to the zoning map.
This is before us for final adoption. Mr. Tao moves approval. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is adopted. Item 20 is first reading of ordinance 21-41, amending the commercial development district known as the Schmidt Brewery Commercial Development District to remove liquor license restrictions.
All right, and this item is before us for first reading staff report, and Dan Najelic from DSI, Deputy Director, is here with that report. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and council members. As noted, before you is legislation regarding proposed ordinance language to amend the Schmidt Brewery Commercial Development District to allow more restaurants and bars to obtain full on-sale liquor licenses within the district. A little background, in 2013, a commercial development district was adopted to support the redevelopment of the Schmidt Brewery property. It set the number of restaurants and bars that contain a full on-sale liquor license within the district. These numbers that were allowed were more licenses that were permitted in neighborhoods outside of downtown. So it provided an increased opportunity within the district. In 2014, the St. Paul City Charter was amended to allow an unlimited number of restaurants to receive full on-sale liquor licenses throughout the city. Currently, all the liquor licenses allowed for the Schmidt Brewery District are spoken for, which is exciting because Keg and Caves has been a great success down there and continue to prosper. And they are looking to locate more restaurants with full on-sale liquor licenses within their building. Therefore, we want to propose changes to the Schmidt Brewery Commercial Development District. Currently, the language limits the number of on-sale liquor licenses to 4, of which 3 of those would be going to restaurants. As noted above, the goal of the district language was not to be more restrictive than the rest of the city for the number of restaurants which would be allowed to obtain a full on-sale liquor license. So clearly, when it was adopted, it had a good purpose, but since the charter change occurred, it now is more restrictive. So the proposed language before you would allow unlimited number of on-sale liquor licenses within the district, and we would recommend approval. And thank you for your attention to this issue.
Thank you, Mr. Najelic. Are there questions on this item? All right, it looks like there are not questions. So Ms. Naker would move to lay the matter over for 1 week. Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is laid over to November 3rd for second reading public hearing. Item 21 is first reading of ordinance 21-44, granting a 5-year extension of the Energy Park Utility Company franchise held by the Port Authority from August 1st, 2036 to August 1st, 2041.
All right, and this is before us for first reading. So we have a staff report. I believe we have Sarah Brown and Mike Solomon in the house. Mike, is it you or is it Ms. Brown?
Yep, thanks, Council President. It'll be me.
All right, welcome.
All right, so thank you, Council President Brenmo and council members. Mike Solomon, City Finance. We help manage the franchises for the City of St. Paul. Energy Park Utility Company is a district system that is owned by the Port Authority and has been managed by District Energy since 1997. There's an opportunity right now for them to change the financing structure of the utility in a way that will save approximately $1 million for ratepayers over the next 15 years. The ordinance language in front of you today would simply extend the term of the franchise by 5 years to allow for this change to take place. Notably, Xcel Energy has the ability to go against this movement, and they've waived their notice period and they don't have any issue with this change. So they're in support of this change to the ordinance.
Are there any questions for Mr. Solomon? All right, it looks like there are no questions. Seeing none, Ms. Jalali will move to lay the matter over for 1 week. Roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is laid over to November 3rd for second reading public hearing. Item 22, resolution public hearing 21-293, authorizing the Department of Planning and Economic Development to execute grant agreements with the Metropolitan Council, which includes an indemnification clause, accept grant funds, and amend the related city budget.
It's a weirdly worded title.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. All right. This public hearing has been held virtually. Mr. Tolbert moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Chow,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, none opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 23, resolution public hearing 21-299, amending the financing and spending plans in the city attorney's office in the amount of $25,000 for accepting the first payment from the Association of Prosecuting Attorneys for a gun possession diversion program.
And this public hearing's been held virtually. Ms. Naker moves to close the public hearing and approve. And I will just say in terms of discussion that we are inviting the city attorney's office to back in the early part of winter to discuss the ethos program as well as gun diversion and other programs. So we look forward to hearing about that. This is grant money to support that program. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 24, resolution public hearing 21-301, amending the financing and spending plans in the amount of $125,000 for a contribution received from the state of Minnesota to pay for training and equipment for the St. Paul Fire Department hazardous materials team.
All right, this public hearing's been held virtually. As such, Mr. Tolbert moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 25, resolution public hearing 21-302, amending the financing and spending plans in the fire department in the amount of $317,000 for a contribution received from the Minnesota Board of Firefighter Training and Education to pay for training and equipment for the Minnesota Aviation Rescue Team and helicopter training with the Minnesota State Patrol.
This public hearing has been held virtually. As such, Mr. Tao moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion on his motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 26, ordinance 21-38, amending section 94.13 of the legislative code to ensure consistency with the 2015 Minnesota Plumbing and Building Code.
And this public hearing's been held virtually. Ms. Prince moves to close the public hearing and approve. Any discussion?
Lay
Seeing
over.
none. Oh, we're going to lay it over. Oh, sorry. We're going to lay it over just for first
Just
reading.
1 week. This
Okay.
is public hearing, second reading.
Thank you. So we'll lay, Ms. Prince moves to close the public hearing and lay the matter over for 1 week. Any discussion on that fixed motion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the ordinance is laid over to November 3rd for final adoption. Item 27, Resolution Public Hearing 21-225, ratifying the assessment for the Griggs Sheffer area paving and lighting project constructed as part of the 2020 St. Paul Street Paving Program.
And Mr. Tolbert laid this matter over for 1 week and moves approval this week. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Howe,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Shalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 28, Resolution Public Hearing 21-283, accepting funds for the Great River Patches Conservancy in the amount of $475,000 for use on the River Learning Center schematic design project.
And this matter was laid over last week for 1 week. Mr. Tolbert moves approval. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Yeah.
Ms. Prince.
Thank you, Council President Brenmon. I was able to have a meeting with Ms. DeLay from the Great River Passage and Alice Messer from our Parks Department to look at the proposal. I had not seen it in a while. It is a great project. It will be a city-owned river classroom, but it will also serve as headquarters to the National Park Service on our Minnesota national park that is the river. And so I think it's a very exciting proposal, and I really did appreciate the opportunity to get up to speed on it. I just want to mention a couple things. One was that staff could not be at today's meeting because I definitely understood that they hadn't planned on making a presentation today, but I did suggest that when there is some news, maybe when the RFP comes in and they're moving to the next step in the project, I think it would be a great presentation because at least a couple of our current council members probably have not seen that presentation. The other thing I just want to note, because it came up at an earlier meeting today, and that is that the RFP was sent out for this project about a week before last week's meeting, so about 2 weeks ago, which I just want to point that out because we do want to assert that the council is not a rubber stamp, and so we really shouldn't be moving ahead on releasing requests for proposals on things that the council hasn't acted on yet. And this has been something that Ms. Naker and I have been sticklers on, but it really is a good way for people to think about the council, that it does matter if we act on these items. So in any event, I'm delighted to be able to move the item before us, which is acceptance of a sizable grant that will allow this project to move to the schematic design phase.
Any other discussion on Mr. Tolbert's motion? All right, seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tolbert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Shalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. The legislative hearing officer recommends adoption of the following resolutions as no objections to these recommendations were received. Item 29, RLH VO 21-42, 30 Acker Street West. Item 30, RLH SAO 21-30, 1143 Churchill Street. Item 31, RLH FCO 21-170, 821 Conway Street. Item 33, RLH VBR 21-66, 1162 Earl Street. Item 35, RLH CO 21-7, 294 Hazelwood Street. Item 36, RLH FCO 21-149, 1084 Larpenteur Avenue West. Item 37, RLH FCO 21-158, 618 Minnehaha Avenue East. Item 39, RLH FCO 21-166, 828 Ottawa Avenue. Item 40, RLH BBR 21-65, 1268 Payne Avenue. Item 41, RLH BBR 21-64, 1182 Rainy Avenue East. Item 42, RLH BBR 21-69, 1234 Rice Street. Item 43, RLH BBR 21-67, 1630 University Avenue West. Item 44, RLH FCO 21-160, 1669 and 1671 University Avenue West. Item 45, RLH FCO 21-156, 995 Van Slyke Avenue. And item 46, RLH FCO 21-155, 922 Woodbridge Street. And the motion is to adopt these items.
So moved by Mr. Tao. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Howe,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are closed and the resolutions are adopted. For the following items, no objections to the legislative hearing officer's amended recommendations were received and therefore he recommends amendment and adoption. Item 32, RLH BBR 21-62, 936 Duchess Street. And item 34, RLH RR 21-36, 854 Edmond Avenue. And the motion is to amend and adopt these items.
So moved by Mr. Tao. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearings are closed and the resolutions are adopted as amended. For the following item, the legislative hearing officer's recommendation is contested and additional testimony for the appellant is in the record. Item 38, RLH FCO 21-151, 429 Mount Ida Street, and there is a staff report.
Ms. Mormond.
Just briefly, this is, as indicated, a contested recommendation. What we have is a basement with water infiltration and black mold and the attendant problems with that. The owner wants to further discuss the cause of the water infiltration, believing it to be because of the neighboring property. My focus needs to be on the health and safety within this particular house. And what she has in place was a treatment of the walls with an appropriate black mold killer and dehumidifiers. And what I'm recommending is that the council allow those mitigation measures to be in place and that the matter be revisited by inspection staff again in the spring. Again, her concern has to do with attribution of the water infiltration rather than the actual existence of it in the house and what to do about it there. So for that reason, I'm making my recommendation to look at mitigation and revisit it.
Thank you, Ms. Mormond. Are there questions for Ms. Mormond? All right. I don't have questions. So I would move your recommendation. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Tao,
Aye.
Tobert,
Yes.
Yang,
Aye.
Jalali,
Aye.
Naker,
Aye.
Prince,
Aye.
Council President Brenmon.
Aye.
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted.
And that brings us to the end of our agenda. So before we adjourn, it was a quick meeting, although it still feels like a long day full of material and information and cool highlights about great stuff happening in the city. But before we go, if anyone has news from the wards, I will just start out by saying it's election week, and it is important. We all of the council members are elected in what I refer to as the off year, which is opposite of the mayor's race, which is like the off year. But when we run for city council and um, work our the doors, have opponents, have great conversations, and engage with our community members, we often see about a 10% voter turnout, even though the city directly touches our police, our fire, our parks, our libraries, the roads, and all the things that are so important to us on a day-to-day basis. And I can't underscore enough how important it is that folks get out and vote. Early. Early voting is open. Election day is on Tuesday. We have a mayor's race. We have a school board race with a great group of candidates and a big envision plan in front of them to decide, as well as a referendum on rent control. So, a rent stabilization. So, I just want to remind people be heard. We could expect anywhere from 20 to 30% in this election, which is really too bad. When we know how important the issues that are facing cities at the local level. And I've heard many people over the course of the day talk about how important engagement is on the local, tangible stuff that you can really feel in touch on a day-to-day basis is really where action happens and where things get started. So just underscoring to folks watching this and the world that it's important to vote on before Tuesday or on Tuesday, if not before. So that is my public service announcement, and I will be done. Ms. Yang.
Thanks. I'm wishing everyone a fun-filled and safe Halloween weekend with your family, friends, and little ones. There are many Halloween events planned by St. Paul Parks and Rec, and I wanted to highlight two coming up in Ward 6. In the east side here tonight from 6 to 7:30 p.m. there's a neighborhood bonfire and fall celebration at the Hayden Heights Rec Center. And on Saturday, October 30th from noon to 2, there will be an annual fall festival at the Arlington Hills Rec Center. So food, candy will be provided and costumes are encouraged, and come on out and have a good time.
Thank you for that. And just a reminder to folks to look at on social media and other outlets. There's many trunk or treat events happening, and that's a fun way to get to see when you trick or treat, you see like your costumes and not everyone else's costumes. And when you trunk or treat, it's like a party in a parking lot. So make sure that you see if there's one close to you. I know there's one in Railroad Island and other locations around the city. So thanks for that Halloween reminder. I gotta think of my costume now. Ms. Prince.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President Brenmon and Council Member Yang, because yes, indeed, there are so many really fun and wholesome activities for celebrating Halloween. And I just want to again say that the Southeast Community Organization, along with Ramsey County 4-H and the Sunray Shopping Center, are going to be hosting on Saturday, October 30th from noon to 3, Spooktacular. Registration is free, but you must sign up in advance, and there'll be treats for children in costume from grade 6 and younger, lots of activities, a chance to meet neighbors, support Sunray businesses, a live DJ. Please stay home if you are sick, and please wear a mask and keep your hands clean when you're at the event. I'm sure there'll be plenty of hand sanitizer around. And to your point, Council President Brenmon, I believe that the Railroad Island Neighborhood Group trunk or treat is on Friday evening or Friday late afternoon and evening. So that's October 29th.
That's great. That one has been around for a few years, and I'm noticing them popping up all over the city. It's a really cool way to turn Halloween into a more of a community event and less of a house-to-house event, which both are great, but this is a nice kind of supplement. Plus, then you get to wear your costume twice or even 3 times. So that's really fun. Are there other news from the wards or things that we should know before we adjourn today? All right, and it's kind of a wimpy fall, but the trees are looking good. So get out and enjoy our parks and trails this weekend while the getting's good. And appreciate our great city. All right, there's nothing else to come before us, so we will be adjourned. Thanks, folks.
Alarm before you hear the end of life.